On the international front, Indonesia is reportedly on the brink of a coronavirus catastrophe amid the rampant spread of the Delta variant. For more on the situation there, I have George Arif live on the line. Welcome, George.
Hi.
Now, George, Indonesia has been recording some 20,000 new infections on a daily basis in recent days. How severe is the situation there, and how are authorities explaining this frightening resurgence?
Yeah, right now the rate in Indonesia is quite high. The reason for this spike was Indonesia's location that is quite near to India, and the country were visited by Indian citizens having the Delta virus variant. So the variant here is here already, and we are strongly advised to stay home. And for those who need to go out, are advised to wear double masks to shield against the airborne virus variant. One of the cause of this spike, the other thing is culturally related. During the Ramadan feast, it is a culture here for people working in big cities to go back home to their families in rural areas, thus causing people to travel between places. The government and the authorities are strongly advising this not to happen, as well as enforcing road closure for people for traveling during the time. But since it is a cultural thing, the people is quite hard in obeying this. I do think that in Asia, some of the hindrance of handling this pandemic are culturally related, like bathing in Ganga River in India and having Songkran festive in Thailand. As well as in Indonesia, we have Ramadan. That was the causes.
I see. Now, George, aside from being asked to stay at home and to wear 2 masks when outdoors, what other measures are in place to contain this latest outbreak?
Yeah, basically our government is handling this very, very seriously. President Joko Widodo and the Indonesian Ministry of Health is providing vaccination for free for everyone, for every Indonesian citizen, as well as foreigner residing here for holding proper documents, so for instance, work visa and so on. This also applies for Korean citizen working here. So this doesn't only happen by the government effort only, but also community initiatives are organizing vaccination for public, like high school alumni, universities, hand in hand collaborating with government officials and media. And moreover, the school is on holiday now. And the past year, the students were attending online school in order to seize the pandemic. The government also enforces strict measures about physical distancing, limiting the use of public areas, no entrance for public parks and shopping malls with limitation. In Jakarta, we wear masks and practice health protocol while doing our activity. Before the pandemic, we have a regulation to limit the use of privately owned vehicle. But now we do not have the regulation, so people can use their privately owned in order to use to minimize the use of public transport.
I see. Meanwhile, on the vaccination front, you mentioned the president. Now, Indonesian President Joko Widodo has called on authorities to boost the rollout to 2 million shots a day by August from the current 1 million. How feasible, George, is this plan?
Yeah, that is correct. We are aiming high because we need to achieve more on the widespread vaccination. The vaccination is happening everywhere simultaneously in big cities. As the main spreading point are the big cities, most Indonesians have received Sinovac and AstraZeneca vaccines. We have Bio Farma. Bio Farma is a state-owned enterprise. Bio Farma is manufacturing the Sinovac vaccines as well as developing the digital infrastructure for administering and tracking the vaccines for a wider recipients. On the recovery side, many health workers are working tirelessly in hospitals handling COVID-19 patients.
Right. And George, talking about healthcare workers, almost 1,000 of them have lost their lives to COVID-19 since the start of the pandemic there, including 400 doctors, about 20 of whom were fully vaccinated. What more can you tell us about this?
Yeah, it is quite sad for everyone here because some of my friends also are doctors, right? So recently we lost more lives of doctors and health workers. In December, it was 57 people. In January, it gets higher to 67 workers and decline in February. But now, this month, the rate goes going up again. It goes skyrocketed. But the vaccination received by the doctors actually lowered the rate of death among doctors. While maintaining strict health protocol, I think, and quoting the health authorities here, the reason of this spike is due to the Delta variant because it is very easily widespread. It's airborne, and the COVID-19 patient with Delta variant tend to transmit the disease quicker and more ferocious to the health workers here.
I see, which is why I believe authorities there have granted the green light for Sinovac vaccines for children aged between 12 and 17. Tell us a bit more about this, George.
Exactly. The next group planned by the government is the 12 to 17 years old, the youngsters. So we do hope that this will go smoothly, as this also will accelerate the decision on having the face-to-face school program, because it's been 1 year and everyone is really missing their school. So we do hope it's going to lay down very soon.
Right, we'll keep our fingers crossed for that. Now, George, plans to reopen Bali, though, have been delayed in light of the recent rebound. What is the latest on that front?
Yeah, exactly. As what also happening in other countries, the travel industry is the one that gets hit pretty bad. Also in Bali, everyone is doing nothing now because the most of thing doing there is the travel things. So since the pandemic start, the government is giving support funds for small to medium-sized hotel and restaurant everywhere in Indonesia, not only in Bali, in order to sustain the people's economy. So they want to support the SME hotel owners. It's been done, and the government is also planning to do the Work from Bali program. It is a program where government officials will be assigned to work in Bali in order to support the Bali travel and tourism. This may expand to other programs in other destination areas. Let's say work in Manado, work in other places. This support are directed towards the domestic market. So basically, the government trying to escalate the travel industry again by focusing on the domestic market, while people and the travel workers are enforced to practice the health protocol.
I see. All right, George, as always, thank you very much for making the time to join us live at this hour with your thoughts.
Yeah, I hope we will get through this, well mannered, and I wish the same there for you.
Thank you, George.